Lots of things are changing in our communities. We are kind of coming right now at a period of essentially a generation of extraordinary growth in subway ridership. That we kind of look at streetcars and light rail as a technology whose time has come, and it's something else that needs to be part of the mix here in New York.
We're facing an era that is going to radically change the face of urban transportation in the United States. The traditional parking patterns cannot be sustained. If you have access to affordable, convenient transit, it actually helps reduce some of the demand for parking. There's also, I think, the opportunity here to be able to take a hard look at what's happening in 25 cities across the country who've decided to add the streetcar to their urban redevelopment toolkit.
To have good transit is a way to provide better access to jobs. Just 1 year after the streetcar operation has started, the passenger volumes are 2.5 times higher, 2.5 times higher than they were on the bus lines. As you can see, we have a streetcar line running along the river. We usually keep them operating until the final moment. But sometimes what happens is that the water wins and this tunnel gets full of water. We are usually able to restart the service after 4 days when the water is gone. The maximum in 2013, it was the biggest flood ever in Hungary. So after this big flood, we were able to restart this service after 8 days. Because the tracks, the catenary, all this stuff were water resilient. So I think a streetcar system, if it's properly designed, could be resilient for floods, and I think this is very important.
I think at the higher level, for transit to be competitive as a choice, as a mode choice for people, it has to be really frequent and really reliable. But in particular, we have all of this on-demand, point-to-point mobility that's available to people, and if people have to wait more than a few minutes for transit, they're not going to wait. To me, the danger in that outcome is that we start to have a class-based transportation system where people who can afford it can get where they need to go in a relatively simple manner, and people who cannot are stuck with the financial and personal consequences of having really intense travel times.
And for this project, my perspective is for Brooklyn and for Queens, you're entitled to north-south access. That's been a missing component of the development and the shape of your community.
A streetcar or LRT operates that sort of intermediate road that comes at a cost of 1/10 subway construction. It moves roughly 2/3 the speed of the number one. So somewhere we hear 12 or 13 miles, we don't think that that's fast. The number one only moves at 18 miles per hour. Buses in this corridor operate around 8 miles an hour. So this route connects with over 16 subway lines, the buses, the ferries, and it's really about, it's going to have to be an integrated approach. It's not about a dogmatic choice about one mode over the other, it's about choosing the mode that works best in the right corridor. Instead of going in there, massive tunneling, large stations, we're going in, look, this track is put in like the top 2 feet of the road. Sure, we have to do some work with utilities, frankly, but the touch is much lighter. There are billions of dollars of large capital projects that are needed in the New York area just to meet the existing demands that are coming, well, that are there here today and are coming based on existing projections, nothing new. In every city I've ever been involved in or heard from, there's always a demand for more.
You're in a great position to be able to build on this foundation. We've got to figure out how to reduce our carbon footprint. We've got to figure out how to harness the forces of change, as I say, to solve problems rather than create new ones.